creepy, and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
Wow, look at that. Many active volcanoes in Indonesia is available to climb, but there's no warning system for eruption in some volcano mountain.
Tell you what I did the other day, something I like to do once every 5 years at least. Did Dark Side of the Moon with Wizard of Oz.
Incredible.
Have you seen this?
The fuck
It's one
you
of the
talking about?
greatest anomalies and coincidences in the history of art.
What are you talking about? You don't know about this? No.
If you hit start on Dark Side of the Moon on the second roar of the MGM Lion of Wizard of Oz, and you turn the audio of Wizard of Oz all the way down and Dark Side of the Moon all the way up, it matches. It's a crazy visual thing.
It matches exactly.
Yeah.
It matches in this weird way
Lyrics,
where it
beats,
syncs up.
Sure.
I asked Roger Waters about it,
and they get asked all the time about this.
but it seems like they made it to sync
They
up.
have to.
They didn't.
the
they didn't.
coincidences are insane.
It's nuts. I think it's proof of the simulation.
Yep, I think so too. When I was rewatching it the other day, I was positive of it. Positive of it.
Transformers Dark Side of the Moon?
It has just been confirmed that church is officially cancelled in the UK. The Church of England, which every English person knows about, every English town and city in the UK has a Church of England church just round the corner. They have now decided that they are dropping the word church and instead calling it community.
No.
And they've got £80 million worth of funding to do so. But it gets worse. Instead of having Bible study and prayer in a church, they've decided, no. We need to be more modern. We need to swap that for countryside walks.
What?
And honestly, the way the Church of England is now going, I would not be surprised if the next Archbishop of Canterbury is Chris Packman. You think I'm joking? This is embarrassing. And the big question that needs to be asked is, has anyone ever asked Jesus Christ what he thinks about this? Has anyone ever asked Jesus Christ? Because didn't Christ himself say, I will build my church and the gates of hell will not prevail against it? This is not your church, O Church of England. The leaders of the Church of England, you have no right to say you are dropping a word that has been there since the very beginning of the church, since God himself ordained and worked through the people, the local body of Christ, and called it the church. You have no right to change it.
You know, I might be mistaken, but I heard people actually go to mosques, and churches in England rarely get used at all. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please drop a comment.
Most people don't realize just how big of a dog Az is. The smaller dog is a Great Pyrenees, about 8 months old and about 80 pounds. He is not a small dog, but you can see Az just fits his head right in his mouth. I don't think Osso agreed that his head makes a really good chew toy, but they're having a bit of a dominance war and trying to decide who should be dominant. Az is a couple months over a year old now,
Man, look at that.
175 pounds. One of Az's favorite toys is this duck that used to be Minion's toy, and he's basically telling Osso, I want this toy, and you must let me have it. Osso disagrees with him, though. This might seem vicious, but Az is being real gentle. Az is just calmly explaining that I'm bigger and I will have it if I want it. And while also sounds ferocious, he doesn't actually want to fight Az.
Extremely good demonstration. Most people would see this and freak out. What is that?
it started off like my mum actually tricked me and she told me that I was gonna go play football in Ivory Coast at that age. So what she did is she forwarded some paperwork that actually mentioned that I've been selected to go play for my country over there. So the letter looked legitimate, and in my mind I had a feeling that it was a bit skeptical, but I saw the return tickets, so I'm thinking, oh, the return ticket says I'll be back in the UK in 1 week, so nothing could go wrong. Long story short, I got on the flight, I went over there to Ivory Coast, and the second night that I was there, I got a letter. I was with my mum's family friend there, so no one that I actually know, they were all strangers to me. So the second morning I woke up, I see a letter on the table saying, we've taken your passport back to the UK, you will not be returning back to London, you're going to stay in this country, you're going to do boarding school, and you're going to start your new life in a new country, no relatives that I know, no explanation, just a letter, no phone call, nothing. And yeah.
You know, the way he's speaking gently and responsibly, it's like her plan was successful.
Ya no sabía si estaba temblando por miedo o por...
Don't you do this, folks?
This is the first time you'll see life being born. You'll be competing with 200 million brothers and sisters for the chance to become human. This process requires not only courage, but also luck. You'll have to overcome 4 hurdles. The first hurdle, the cervix. The gate only opens in a small opening that lasts a few minutes. You'll have to push your way through. And this 20-centimeter stretch is surrounded by acidic mucus. Weak competitors will be gripped and collapse here. Only the strongest runners can break through to the second hurdle, the immune system. Here, white blood cells and macrophages will kill you mercilessly. You'll need to evade the hunters to get to the third hurdle, the crossroads of destiny. Only one of the 2 paths, left and right, has egg cells. 50% chance. Wrong choice is death. At this point, you have less than 100 left from the 200 million that were with you at the beginning. Now it's time for the final sprint. All runners are burning their last protein for energy and trying to push forward. But it's not all about being the first to arrive. There's a layer of defense on the outside of the egg cell, while the other brothers are still trying to get in. You're so far ahead of the rest, you find a way in, and you pushed your way in. Once you're inside, the outer shell of the egg cell hardens, blocking the passage completely. No one else can get in. As the winner of the competition, you will release the nucleus in your head with the father's genetic information to form a fertilized egg with the egg cell. Next, you will begin to replicate and divide, and your life will begin.
Then you hear someone say, I didn't ask to be born. Bro, you literally fought against millions. You're a champion.
Money that is in politics right now is absolutely mind-blowing. See, today's the last day of the Democratic National Convention, but you want to know how much corporate sponsors paid to attend this event? Well, the penthouse suite in the stadium cost them $500,000. The club level cost $1 million, and the most expensive is $5 million. Chris Cuomo attended the event as corporate media, but even he said,
Greg, look at the ring of suites, okay? This is not unique to Democrats. There is a game of money. We are strangled by the money reality in our politics. Those suites start at 500 grand.
No.
The media boxes, you think they're free? Why do you think I'm on the floor? We don't have one of those boxes because that's the game. You pay to play. Those boxes are filled with the same people that they say they're going to regulate. They are literally looking down on the faithful.
I mean, here's an absolutely wild fact. The total spending for the presidential campaign in 2000 was about $3 billion. In 2020, that number jumped up to over $14 billion, shattering all records. And another record to be shattered in this year's 2024 election, despite federal campaign finance laws requiring political committees to disclose donors, concealed dark money groups and shell companies are on track to contribute more money from unknown sources to this year's election than any other before. And that's according to the FEC's data itself.
Yep, America, where you struggle with healthcare and housing, but these politicians act like they care.
just got even worse for Mr. Beast because yesterday Ronaldo started a YouTube channel and he is smashing almost every growth record there is. And because he's now become the fastest growing channel in the world, everyone's now asking, is there finally someone that could actually compete with Mr. Beast? So here's the yes and no answer. Yes, because he's already the most followed man on the planet. 636 million on Instagram, 170 million on Facebook, 112 million on Twitter, and now almost 20 million on YouTube. So not only will he become the first person ever to hit 1 billion followers in total, but if even roughly 30% of those subscribe to his YouTube, R.I.P. Mr. Deceased. But also, no, because the hype about him starting a YouTube channel will soon die, and actual good content will need to take its place for him to continue growing. But that is the ultimate question, because when Ronaldo retires, which will be soon, will he actually become a YouTuber or just a celebrity with a YouTube channel? Because that's a big difference. But interestingly, what he said in 2019 might have just given us a hint. He said that one of his ambitions for when he retires is to challenge himself and act in a movie. Wow. But let's be honest, Hollywood kinda cooked right now. So maybe, just maybe, YouTube is the new Hollywood for Ronaldo. And if it is,
I don't follow the records. The records follow me.
So the question is, if you had to bet who will have more subscribers by the end of 2025, who you going with?
You know, I saw someone say, if Mr. Beast wins YouTuber of the Year, Ronaldo fans will call it rigged.
Bro, no touch.
No touch. This one says it's a $3,500 fine if you touch these holy places. What you say?
Don't touch us. So you know why they say it actually?
Why?
They're like their guards will punish them.
Oh.
Yes.
And that's just touching.
Yes.
That's not even first base. They will be punished. What is the punishment?
Stoning. Old dude is asking if we need like cash. And I won't ever buy
Nobody
from
gonna
this.
stone me.
Why?
Nah, man, they're racist. Bro, I don't give my business to racist. Bro, I'll try to like make as little contribution to their economy as possible. Bro, I've never been felt racism even in foreign countries.
Yeah.
But now I feel like that might be the case for the first time.
Yeah. Are all these guys like smoking up? I think it's like what they do all day.
He's saying yes, and they're also like dealers. So yeah, that's their job.
Dealers? You know what? I rather would not go there. Just to make sure I would not get anyone in trouble, even by mistake or accident.
Been on unemployment benefits for 5 years and has been busted with a baby blue Lamborghini, a Harley Davidson, and 2 Rolex watches. Detectives investigating unexplained wealth raided a Parramatta unit last month, discovering the assets worth more than $500,000. The 39-year-old has been charged and faces court in October.
So, how much unemployment benefits he collected? I highly doubt he made that much from unemployment benefits. Baby blue Lamborghini? That's wild.
The feds felt that you had made about $200 million in drugs.
Yeah. Money goes fast, don't it though?
It does.
Yeah, especially when you buy that, when you're taking care of the neighborhood, and buying cars, houses. It's not a lot. That's really not a lot.
What do you think was the most extravagant thing that you purchased?
I bought a big yacht. It was, matter of fact, it was about a $300,000 yacht at the time.
$300,000 yacht?
I had all kind of cars, houses.
It's a small yacht.
Jewelry, everything.
Okay. And then April 2nd, 1987.
Yeah, they came in and indicted me. Was it April Fool's Day?
The day after.
The day after April Fool's Day. They got me in my office, matter of fact.
Right. You and your brother got indicted.
Right.
Your father got indicted.
Got indicted. My sister.
Your sister, Wyman Jenkins, Lamont Davis, Alan Hill Sr.
About 20-something. Might have been 23, 24 of us.
Yeah. A bunch of people got indicted. What was that day like?
Oh, hell came down, basically. But I thought I would get a bond, though, because actually, if I didn't kill nobody, or at that time, they was giving out, like, they would give you a bond. You go in, you have a bond hearing. Matter of fact, I had Steve Fishman as my attorney. We went in there and fought real hard for the bond hearing. But then when they heard that, and they played the tape, one of the tapes that said, basically, F the feds, I got enough money buried to leave the country. They played the tape in the courtroom, and I'll never forget this judge, Richard Sahirovich, was the judge at the time. Held me without bond. We had like a 3-hour bond hearing. Normally a bond hearing don't take but 15, 20, 30 minutes at the max. I had a 3-hour bond hearing.
Okay, and so you got denied bond?
Definitely. Then we went to the Sixth Circuit. They denied it. We went to the Sixth Circuit in Cincinnati. They denied the bond.
By this time, when you're going through all the indictments and everything, do they reveal that White Boy Rick is an informant?
That came later.
That came later.
That came
so you
later.
still had no idea?
Right. That came later down the line.
Okay. So you're facing all these charges. And how many charges were you facing at that time yourself?
The most one was the one with the 848, the RICO. That's the continual criminal enterprise. The 848 carries life without parole. So all my charges, the unlawful use of a telephone, tax evasion. I was facing a lot of charges.
Okay, so you were facing life in prison?
Definitely. Without the possibility of parole, too. My case carried that.
You know, when they said White Boy Rick, that was through disappointment in his emotion. Have you seen the movie, White Boy Rick?
Elon Musk don't care about none of you. If you own a Tesla, you should sell it. I'm going to tell you why you should sell it. I bought a Tesla, $105,000. Dropped the price to $85,000.
Yeah.
Not only was I going to get rid of the
That
car
sucks.
because there was no value in the they offered me $26,000 when I just bought a G-Wagon. $26,000. They ended up giving me $30,000 because I had a Rhino paint job. But the car wasn't worth shit. And so if a man is going to take your money, then drop the price, kill your value in your car, you want to support that type of motherfucker? And then he going crazy supporting the devil.
People still running around here with them ugly cyber trucks. Like, look at my paint job. It's better than yours.
I've been cracking on everybody who getting them. I'm over here like, y'all really in the competition.
But think about who they supporting and what you support when you buy that Tesla
That's what
truck.
I'm saying. They're not.
It's
they
not
don't
just
care.
about the truck. It's about who you supporting, who this money going to.
That matters.
Black people always get all this money. Soon we get all this money, we're gonna give the money to the person that's oppressing your own kind.
This is why black people should realize their true superpower. We control the algorithm.
Yep.
Nothing happens in culture without us. Because ignorantly, we spend the most. Ignorantly, we dying to put it on. Ignorantly, we are continuously proving them right.
Name a car company with the CEO that cares about the people that buy it.
Guys, I've just met Mr. Beast's dad.
That's not
this
true.
is in look at
That's not. I have nothing.
He does
to
look like Mr.
I have a
Beast.
family.
Why would you deny your own son?
The smile.
I have 3 daughters. I don't have a son.
And one Beast. My worst purchase. Because I didn't want a spring for a Lamborghini.
Right.
So I bought a fake one.
Oh my goodness. How do you buy a fake Lambo?
I found a way to do it.
So we had a Lambo body with a Ford engine?
A BMW V12. And I was like, yeah, I was a young, this is like 2003. I found a company that would do it. They put a V12 in it. I'm like, man, it's the same thing. It looks pretty good. Like, it looks great. Yeah, I'll buy it. They tried to stiff me out of the car. I had to ask some friends who knew how to find things to go and find things. I then had to get a title for the car, of which I did. The car finally shows up after 2 years from me waiting. It doesn't go into gear. The motor is held together with the timing of 2 Chevy V6s, so everything's confused. Nothing runs. The car is not roadworthy. So I sent it to a shop. This is 2005. I just got the keys to that car a week ago.
What?
A week ago. I've sent it to 10 shops. I finally found somebody to do it. They did it, tip to tail, and I will tell you, it looks great. But I can honestly say I have the cost, and the collectible Lamborghini market is thriving.
Right.
I have the cost of about a real roadster and a half into this kit car.
You could have just bought a brand new one.
I could have bought 2, sawed one in half, and just 1.5 cars to be like, yeah, this is it. This is, yeah. But that was a lesson to be like, hey, if you take shortcuts, you're going to get what you pay for. So that was my takeaway from that. And also, like, I don't regret it
Learn
because
your
I have a
lesson.
takeaway. And in the process, I met a whole lot of shady shop owners, which are great, which allows me to feel good about a good shop owner when I meet a good mechanic and someone who can do honest work. So there's a lot of good takeaways from that. But as far as like statistics, boy, I got my ass whipped on that.
You know, believe it or not, we have one of the best Lamborghini replica factory here in Indonesia. Google it, Lamborghini replica Indonesia.
Need some black Air Forces size 11 and a half Supremes, please.
I got you, brother. But before that, I'll need your ID, bro.
ID for what?
For buying a black Air Forces.
I need to show you my ID to buy black Air Forces.
And also, want you to sign this waiver.
I gotta sign a waiver?
Yes.
To buy black Air Forces?
Yes. Everything's written on the paper. Just
Are you
go ahead.
a felon?
Yes or no?
Have you been in a fight in the last 30 days? Are you a violent person?
Yes.
Bro, are you serious?
Anybody
Oh,
realize?
wait, what are black Air Forces? I haven't been on a skateboard in 20 years, so I'm out the loop on new stuff. Please drop a comment.
Once upon a time, there was a group by the name of G-Unit. Hey, look, it's 50 Cent. Stay focused, though. We're not talking about him right now. We're talking about this guy, Young Buck. See, Young Buck had a problem. One day, that chain he has on his neck got stolen. Oh, no big deal. Psych, stupid. It was a huge deal. See, back in the 2000s, G-Unit was a very popular group, especially in the streets. Why? Because, listen closely, they based their reputation on being tough street individuals. And you know what you can't do in the streets? Get your chain snatched. Think about it. It means someone got close enough to you to take your chain. It's not a good look. Knowing all this, 50 Cent told the members of his group, after you finish performing a show, go straight to the hotel. They said, okay. So Young Buck finishes a show in Chicago. He says, okay, 50 Cent says stay at home. His friend said, huh? You a member of G-Unit and you finna stay at home with that beautiful chain? Young Buck said, I don't like how you said that, but yeah. His friend said, wow, are you scared? We just going to the project. Young Buck said, the project? Leave my presence. His friend said, but he spins the block. He comes back, but this time Young Buck is asleep, and this time he takes his chain. So his friend, his name is DT, by the way, goes over to the project. He like, man, this ain't so bad. He goes over to this party, and listen closely. There's a bouncer at the door. The bouncer says, nobody is allowed entry. Whoa, is that a G-Unit chain? You're allowed entry. DT says, don't mind if I do. The bouncer says, and what about your friend? DT says, who? Since DT got in so easily, some dudes who I assume look like this noticed. DT said, bouncer, I don't know them. Bouncer? Oh, the bouncer was gone. Cause them folk brought out their, they said, hand over the chain, buddy. Now to DT's credit, he says absolutely they bring out another really big, they said, huh? DT said, huh? What? I said, absolutely. Here, take the chain. DT then goes home, goes to sleep. Next morning, he hits up his friend Young Buck. He said, boy, them folk took your chain. Young Buck goes, oh no. But he wasn't worried because his chain got taken. He was worried because who he'd have to tell. The boss of G-Unit, 50 Cent, who was known to be very unpredictable. Young Buck explains the whole situation to 50 Cent. 50 Cent says, okay, let me talk to your friend DT. Gives him the phone. DT says, 50 Cent? 50 Cent says, this is he. I just wanted to say I'm glad you're okay and I'm glad nothing happened to you. Give the phone back to Young Buck. DT gives the phone back. Young Buck says, you're a great guy. 50 says, shut up. Your friend is off the tour and I bet not hear anyone from G-Unit speaking to that man. Young Buck says, DT, you off the tour. What else? 50 Cent says, get the chain back before anyone finds out it was taken. And too late, because the people who took the chain start doing interviews. They go into detail about how they took the chain. How you think I know how they took the chain? Young Buck said, oh, he made some phone calls. He said, hey, how do I get the chain back? They said, the guys in the video want a few $1,000s. He said, okay, they can have it. I said, oh, that was easy. Now they want a few thousand more. Young Buck hangs up. He said, oh, they scamming me. Oh, and they were scamming him. In fact, they were trying to sell the chain to the highest bidder. Things got so messy that the biggest kingpins in Chicago got involved, including the Flores twins, El Chapo's biggest distributors in the United States. They were offered the chain, but they recognized it. And according to 50 Cent and a few other people said, we are going to stop sales in Chicago until 50 Cent gets his chain back. Now, I don't know if you know anything about El Chapo and his Sinaloa cartel, but you don't want to cross them. So 50 Cent gets the chain back immediately. Now, this probably sounds ridiculous to you, but you got to understand, 50 Cent was probably one of the biggest artists in the world at this point. So it's not impossible for members of the cartel to think, oh, if I help 50 Cent now, he'll help me later. And well, it paid off, because after the twins got El Chapo locked up, that's a story for another day, they get locked up, then get released. 50 Cent helps him produce a podcast. Anyway, what were we talking about? Don't wear fake chains to the projects. I forgot to tell you the chain was fake. He getting fake chains.
What? You know, kids these days don't even understand how 50 and the G unit was a whole wave.
Deny the power of the Holy Spirit. I'll do it. There's no power.
Great day to be a Satanist. I believe it, and I'm very excited about it.
When the deacon said, let's give each other the sign of peace, I just looked at Dane, what is this? And he looked at me and he said, peace be with you, and he gave me a hug. And then I watched him turn to the people around him and give them the sign of peace, so I turned to the people around me, and they were already turned toward me. Several people were with their hands outstretched, and they shook my hand and they said, peace be with you. And I thought, I have made fun of you people. I have mocked you and your God. Why are you wishing me peace? And they don't know that, but I knew that Jesus knew it. I felt like my soul was bared open, and we were just looking at it, and I felt like, how are you not striking me down in your house? And I just felt so ashamed to be shaking these people's hands and have them be so kind. But then I felt just this love coming from outside of me, toward me, from God, from Jesus, his love and his mercy. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is God, this is what's filling the hole. And I knew I'm home. I can never talk about it without crying.
Be merciful to those who doubt. One of the hardest but most rewarding thing.
So you're moving to New York City.
This guy.
The Chinese restaurant is more money on the apps than the actual store. So you're better off just picking it up. You're moving into a luxury building. While you pay $3,000 to $4,000 in rent, the guy living next to you in the studio, next to the trash bin, probably paying about $200 because he came from a shelter. So you got a rooftop.
200?
You're never going to use it because you'll be working 10 hours a day. Your doorman in the Bronx is just there for Amazon. Only the Midtown doorman open doors. Want to spend an hour looking for parking? Or get your car window smashed because you had a bag in front? Or rats living in your engine? Maybe you want to sell your car and join Zipcar, which are all completely dirty. When you come back, somebody's taking that parking. City bikes? All the docks are broken. You want to walk your dog? Well, you can't, because these are everywhere.
No.
And you want your dog to step on that.
That's crazy.
So Lucifer entrusted me with the mission to fight the pastor of a church in my country, Congo Brazza. When I arrived in the city of Pointe Noire, where the church was, I began by investigating the pastor. After this investigation, I finally discovered his strength. I discovered that he was a man who feared God and who was powerful in prayer. The implication of all this was disturbing. In fact, it prevented our movements and activities in the city. In his church, there was an intercession group that prayed every day and every night. Beloved, you must understand that the devil does not attack hypocritical Christians because they belong to him. Only those who walk in holiness and the fear of the Lord draw the attention of the devil. This pastor was a member of a community of many churches, but he was the one who feared God. That's why the devil designated him as a potential target. My strategy against this pastor was to extinguish the fire that shone and burned in him. My tactic was to get him to break the law so that I could have access to his life. I was also supposed to stop his evangelical journey to Europe. Whenever he went to the administrative offices for the visa, I deployed demons in those offices to oppose him, but the main purpose was to make sure that this pastor could break the law. I had 800 warrior demons working against this pastor. Failure in the kingdom of darkness is unacceptable. So we worked hard, but despite our determination, this pastor was constant and intense in prayer. So I summoned the chief sorcerer of this neighborhood and his brotherhood so that he could go to this pastor and complain about the noises caused by the intercessors in their prayers. In fact, in all quarters of the world, a chief or secretary general of sorcerers has been established. I told the chief sorcerer, gather all the sorcerers in this area and go to the pastor. You must pretend that the intercessors make noises with their prayers at night and people cannot sleep. So in the morning, the sorcerers went to see the pastor to complain. They approached this pastor with abusive and shocking language to make him feel offended. It is a powerful strategy that succeeded because the pastor reacted with pride. As a result, the door of his life was opened, and the sorcerers managed to send a demon into the life of this pastor through the door of pride. He was spiritually weak, and his attempt to travel to Europe failed. You must understand that the devil will seek an open door to access your life. Anger and offense are the two great main doors used by sorcerers against children of God. The Bible says, "Be angry but do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger." Ephesians 4:26. I managed to extinguish the fire of this man of God.
I think this guy was a wizard. But you have to depend fully on God to be able to overcome them.
The interview with John McAfee a couple years before he died, where he said,
I donated to many secretaries within the government laptop computers, really nice ones, that were preloaded with viral spyware. Within a week, the entire government computer system was under my control. I was watching, monitoring this thing. I was looking for information that they had set me up for that raid. I didn't find it. I did find out that the Minister of National Defense was the largest drug trafficker in all of Central America. The Minister of Immigration, the largest human trafficker.
You don't think people out here playing chess, bro? You must be delusional.
McAfee might be the closest thing to being Raymond Reddington. He legit and was on the run.
Rolled this guy in. He was a child. So the moment the doors open, I grab one of the knives, and one of my buddies who's like a long time convict, we go down to a cell, just the two of us. We're like, "Hey buddy, how you doing?" And we go in a cell, we just start him up, just beating the of him, punching him in the face, punching him in the ribs. So we get a guy in the headlock. I get him in a bulldog choke. And then I get the knife and I start stabbing him in the face. But the blade hits his front teeth and ricochets up into his nose. And I just start sawing the blade up through his nose, and it cuts through his nose, past in between his eyebrows, up into his forehead. And then I start pulling the skin. The whole time, my other buddy's punching him in the ribs, and I think he's sticking him too. And so we start pulling the flesh from his face, just like you would a deer. And surprisingly, it's horrible to look at, but it's not that damaging blood-wise. Like, you're not losing a lot of blood. And one of the old-timers was like, "Hey, dog, it's Christmas tomorrow. Don't kill him." Because they don't want to lose a tray. Right. I get a special tray with like 2 Jolly Ranchers or something.
Do the prisoners get tips on who the new guys are coming in for?
People say this is the best Italian sandwich in all of New York. We're in Queens at Sal, Chris, and Charlie's. And you walk in, you're met with this army of sandwich cutters tossing down actual nuclear-sized sandwiches on the counter, and they just chop it up right in front of you. The place has been around since 1940, so they've just been running the block for like almost 100 years. And this sandwich is called the Bomb. 7 different types of meat and 2 cheeses. This is the biggest sandwich I've ever seen in my life, and only $19. I feel like they could charge $50 for this. It could feed a family of 10 people. Okay. Wow. I mean, as predicted, if you throw 7 meats and 2 cheeses on a sandwich, it's gonna taste great. And they have these cherry peppers on top, onions. It's a great Italian sandwich. It's just like, how is one human supposed to even finish half? This is like a special occasion sandwich. You do this once in a blue moon. Unless your name is Shaquille O'Neal, then you could probably be down in this like once a week.
There would be $250 in Canada, plus carbon tax.
This is going to blow your mind. Lockheed Martin has invented a technology for planes that allows the plane to literally change shape, grow, change color, charge itself without any wires, and also potentially fly autonomously, which for us sounds a lot like what we perceive to be UFOs. They've developed a technology called the skin of an aircraft, and it's not like your traditional paint job that's a protective layer over the plane. This acts like a living organism, and it can literally allow the plane to change shape on demand. It's more of a muscular material. So what happens is the plane has an intuitive ability to sense when the plane needs to change shape. So imagine it'd be like if you had a couch that sensed that you needed a nap, and so it changed into a recliner. This is all possible because of the plane's advanced sensors and data flow that are built into the skin using no wires. It is because of this advanced technology that the plane is also able to change color in seconds and also potentially fly autonomously. They believe these planes will fly in packs and are smart enough to communicate and learn from each other while mid-flight. So next time you're out and you think you're seeing UFOs, you might just be seeing Lockheed Martin testing out this new technology. Also, if they're announcing this technology to the public, it makes you wonder what type of technology is out there being used by the government right now. As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
I think it's not reverse engineering. They are just refilling a little at a time.
Tonight's video contains some of the most disturbing information that I've ever come across, and I think this is our most important video to date. In tonight's documentary, we explore Midnight Productions, the mythical almost group that supposedly has been preying on homeless individuals, men, women, and children in Arizona for decades now. And in this documentary, we talked to ex-law enforcement officials who claimed almost half of the Phoenix Police Department to this day believes in Midnight Productions. We talked to homeless individuals living on the streets in Phoenix who also claimed they had seen Midnight Productions, they knew them, they knew people who disappeared or were disappeared by them. And it gets into some really, really disturbing stuff. The paranormal activity and evidence that we captured in the video also led us to locations that you're going to see in the video. We found some incredibly disturbing, shocking stuff. We got some direct answers, and online, everywhere you look, when you bring up Midnight Productions, everyone just says it's this big myth. But if you start looking beyond that, I think you're going to see that there is something incredibly sinister, dark, disturbing, and twisted happening in Arizona that nobody is talking about. So this is a passion project that I've worked on for months. We filmed this back in April, and I'm really, really excited to give this information out to you guys. Please help me out by sharing tonight's premiere, joining in, leaving a comment and a like, and boosting it. Anyways, I'll see you guys soon. This is not an episode to miss.
You know, Google Midnight Productions even has a studio in downtown Rochester, New York. I wonder if it's connected.
I've never wept to a song in my life, ever. The Adoption song.
No way.
I can't listen to that song now.
Out of all songs, that one. Wow.
Adoption song took me out because when I got to where God wanted me to be, I realized I was worshiping more Satan's version of like how I should live my life. And I'm like listening to his dark thoughts and his condemnation and all this stuff. I kept thinking that I had to step up and be the hero, but I kept failing. And I was like, no, I just feel like God doesn't want me. I'm not worthy. And I started reading Romans and realizing even Paul had this problem. And I just started breaking down. I was like, God, I need help. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop listening to rap music because like I feel like that's just pressing me down. Yeah. So the first song I ever listened to that was like a Christian song or like an artist that was a Christian artist, I looked you up. I saw Adoption song. And I'm walking in this neighborhood and bro, I fell to my knees. Like the words rocked me, talking to me about don't listen to what he's saying. Like he's all about lies. Like I'm getting goosebumps right now.
Dude, I'm about to bawl my eyes out.
That's why I reached out to you a few months ago, because I was like, man, like God is using this man in such a beautiful way. I believe that everybody's born with this talent or gift to serve God with. And when I listened to you, it was like, I'm gonna say this, and this might offend a lot of people. It was the first time I heard God's artist. In my heart, I was like, whoa, God's using this man. Like, I felt like you weren't doing it to chase a status or a level. I felt like you were just pouring out your soul through life experiences. And I feel like that's when I succeed, is when I stop trying to be the hero and more the zero and just express what the hero did.
Yeah.
And your music was the first time that ever like rocked me. And bro, like the other songs you're rocking out like this. And then I hear Adoption
there's like a sweet song.
You're so right on the top. And then the next song I'm just like rocking out again.
My father's telling me it's not, he's the creator and Yeshua came down and saved us and all that stuff. But there's a whole other story behind this. It's way gruesome and dark. It's a story that's way bigger than anything that the Bible has to tell. It's happening right before our eyes. It's everything that's going on in Hollywood and everything. And nobody wants to talk about it. How evil, the evil that's just right in front of our faces. Absolutely refuse to believe that there's other entities out there, that there's beings that he created. Like, the Anunnaki are real. The extraterrestrial things that are going on, the fallen angels, and all that's real. The Nephilim, they're real. It's in the Bible, but people don't want to believe it. They just want to, well, that's not what that means. They were killed. No, it means this, it means that. That's why we're in this situation. And I'm just shocked at how many people that call themselves Christians don't even know how to do spiritual warfare. Have not a single clue of how to fight these things. And I'm going to start posting on my experience from day one of my childhood all the way up to now of the entities that I've come across and I've dealt with and what they've done, what they've looked like, and what they are. And know I'm going to get 100 million posts and comments of people who've experienced the same thing. I have dealt with shadow people, and I know I can tell you which ones are the Nephilim. I've dealt with high-ranking freaking demons that I don't ever want to deal with again. And Greys, the reptilian crap. Yeah, the reptilians. I still laugh when I say Bigfoot, because Bigfoot to me, all I keep seeing is Chewbacca. I was a big Star Wars fan in the 70s. You know, that was my thing. I had a big, huge crush on Luke Skywalker. I mean, and my family ran into some stuff. They experienced some stuff throughout, and these stories creeped me out. But when I got older, I seen some things. I believe it has to do with the extraterrestrials, Nephilim and stuff, because it runs in families. It's a generational thing. So I know a lot of you that have experienced these things, abductions and seeing spirits and seeing entities and having interactions with them and shadow people and being that sleep paralysis and all that stuff. It runs in families. It runs in families. It's generational. And I've got a lot to talk about. I'm going to have to go live. I'm going to have to go live because this is too many videos I'm going to have to post, because there's so much I want to tell people, because people need to be warned. This stuff it's going to get worse. These things are coming out and they're attacking people. The demonic stuff is becoming more and more prevalent, and there's ways to handle it. There's ways to deal with them. So that's what I wanted to say. I've got so much stuff to talk about. There's a bigger story to tell. There's bigger stuff going on than what you know is in the Bible. And you're going to have to just wake up and open your eyes and accept it. And if you don't accept it, not only are you going to be left behind, you're going to be, in Revelations when it talks about these demons coming out and attacking people, it talks about what they look like, but we really don't know what they're really going to look like. But if you listen and you pay attention to what I'm saying, you will know what you're experiencing and what it is and how to handle it if you pay attention to what I'm talking about. You know, my father gives me information and tells me. And I've noticed, I've paid attention to my videos. There's a lot of my videos, these little orbs are flying around. I'm like, where did that come from?
You know, we got to stand strong in Jesus, because it's going to get worse. Right now it's bad. We need to be trained by the Holy Spirit.
So let's talk about Thor, okay? So moving on, different one. We showed this in Replacement Gods 2, so this will be just kind of a little bit of a refresher. You guys have probably seen this before, but this scene is a scene between Thor and his father, and this is when, the very beginning, when they introduce Thor to the world. Listen to the language that they use even here.
I have sacrificed much to achieve peace. For through your arrogance and stupidity, you have opened these peaceful realms and innocent lives to the horror and devastation. You are a vain, greedy, cruel boy. You are no fool! You're unworthy! Father. And now take from you your power! I cast you out!
Please open your eyes.
Oh no, this is isn't it?
Where he comes from?
So what do you guys notice right off the bat?
It's just like Satan.
Just like Satan, right? He's having a conversation with his father in heaven. His father says, you're the vain, greedy, cruel boy who traded peace for war. Well, who's the epitome of vain, greed, cruelty, that literally traded peace for war? Was cast down to earth in a bolt of lightning, right? Do you remember the story when Jesus was talking with the disciples, and the disciples all came to him and they said, yes, we have power over the demons and we can cast them out, right? Do you remember that story? And Jesus goes, no, don't gloat at that. Don't be excited about that, because he says in Luke 10:18, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. That's why the devil's always described as this bolt of lightning, AC/DC, bolt of lightning. You know, the devil's children always kind of describe their a colt through a bolt of lightning.
Tourist. Why is New York City so great? It's freedom, entertainment, and culture. You're gonna be in the subway, see someone talk to themselves, at the same time see somebody get arrested, and live music on the platform all at the same time. Every day you're seeing some shit. You could be as free as you want. We don't care who you sleeping with, praying to, or where you come from. They have it the hardest because men and women kind of give hate, but we're getting there. You could come here with absolutely nothing and get food stamps, housing, and medical. You're not getting that anywhere else. There's so many concerts and entertainment, you can't do it all. You can get around the whole city on this and not pay. We got free parks, pools, and museums. I've been here. You cannot be this there. And I see one black person there.
A bear waved to this man asking for help to save her cub? What? No, she made sure the man followed her close by? Okay. No, this is so cute. What? He kept following her at a distance, curious about what she wants? Okay. Her cub was stuck in a plastic container. This is why you don't throw plastic out into the wilderness, guys.
Wow, thank you, guys.
The man quickly helped the cub. Oh, thank God. Bro, this is mad wholesome. Man goes home happy, but what? Mama bear paid a visit to thank him? Bro, I'm gonna cry!
You need to calm down,
She even stood
bro.
guard at night. He was now part of her Bro, what the frick, bro? He would feed her when she was... This is like a beautiful love story! And she would leave food for him at his doorstep. Oh, that's so sweet! Of course, being the best bodyguard. Yeah, no cap, bro. I wish I had a freaking bear as a bodyguard. That's so cute.
This is actually so wholesome.
Do y'all remember this guy, the Bully Slayer? He used to post a lot of videos here on TikTok. He has over 1 million followers. I follow him, he followed me back. Well, something kind of strange has happened. He hasn't posted a video on TikTok for almost 5 full months. And he used to post videos here almost every single day. So I checked out his Instagram just to see if he switched to a different social media site, and he hasn't posted there in almost 10 months. Like I said before, a lot of people follow him. He posted a lot of videos and he got a ton of views. But for some reason, nothing from him. Nothing since the end of March. Now, maybe he got bored, maybe he got burned out, maybe he just decided he's done making videos. But to me, and maybe it's just me, it's weird when people just disappear, just leave social media like that. Especially when they have a real big following. If anybody else knows what happened to him, or if you're just curious, let me know in the comment section, Booskies.
If I'm not mistaken, he's in jail.
Pray over everything before you bring it
Yep.
into your home. I'm going to share a video with you that's gone viral on TikTok here. You may have seen it already, but it's a paranormal investigator who takes his equipment into a thrift shop to show you the energy that's attached to objects. This is a real thing. Demons will attach themselves to objects. Watch this.
That means I found something. Nice. There you go. You see that blur? Yep. Oh, yeah. Ask any paranormal researcher, they'll tell you. Once your equipment starts going out of what's normally planned, there you go. Yes. This is gold right here.
I'm not sharing this to give you fear. I'm sharing this to give you knowledge. The word says that my people perish for lack of knowledge. A lot of us are dealing with spiritual warfare because of the things that we have brought into our homes unknowingly. And so anytime that you buy an object, whether it be from a thrift store or a home decor store or any store, whatever the object is, everything that comes into your home, you say a prayer. Father, I consecrate and dedicate everything that was purchased here today to you. I plead the blood of Jesus over it. If there be any demons attached to anything on these objects. I command them to go now by the power and the authority of Jesus Christ. Remember that your adversary is clever. He is sneaky. He is cunning. He is not unintelligent. We need to exercise wisdom. If this blessed you today, you're always welcome to follow for more.
Always sanctify everything with the blood of Christ.
Good. What's the most expensive item in here?
Probably one of our gold belt buckles.
How much?
I think it's like 58K.
Damn, 58K. Craziest items in Chrome Hearts. They got the $1,000 plunger. They got the ketchup and mustard bottle, the salt and pepper shaker, the tape dispenser, the $57,000 belt buckle. Yo, could you imagine having Chrome Heart jumper cables?
For what?
And the Chrome Heart saw.
You know, Chrome Hearts and Balenciaga have to be social experiments.
Transforming old clothes into construction bricks, look at this idea. In 2017, architecture student Clarice Merlet noticed the construction industry's impact on the environment. She began exploring waste materials like plastic bottles and cardboard. Still, she saw the potential in discarded textiles for their insulation properties. By 2019, Fabric was transforming textile waste into innovative bricks. The process starts with collecting and shredding old clothes, mixing them with eco-friendly glue and compacting them into molds. After drying, the bricks are ready for use. Fabric bricks can be used in walls, furniture, and decor. The process avoids additional dyeing, minimizing environmental impact. Each brick is compressed for 30 minutes and air dried for up to 15 days. Fabric has recycled over 12 tons of textiles. Spread this green idea.
How about durability? Is it flammable? Weight, age?
Sit down. What are you coming up here to do? You want to come take over the service? Huh? What do you want? What?
I just want a prayer, man.
Get out of here.
Can I get a little grace?
No, you can't. No, you get out of here. Get him out of here. Drag this bozo out. Pull him out. Hey, help him out. Get him out. And you know what? Anybody wants to come up here and take over the service? We'll throw you out of here, buddy. This church is not a free-for-all. This isn't an open mic. This isn't a karaoke bar. Okay? I'm the man of God here. I meet the qualifications. I run this church. And if you don't like it, then get out. This is not some church where every first-time visitor and brand new believer and people who've never even read the Bible are going to come up and take over the service. Not happening. Okay? If you want that kind of watered-down leadership, go to some house church with your Amish buddies and sit around the coffee table with your coffee clutch. This is a New Testament church. And if you don't like it, feel free to get up and leave the service at any time. Because you know what? I'm not going to pastor a oneness cult. Amen. I'm not going to pastor a Pentecostal church. I'm the pastor of a Baptist church. Amen. And if you're not a Baptist, then get out.
Amen. You know, Jesus said, you'll know the tree by the fruit that it bears.
Government does is they arrest somebody and they charge him with myriad crimes.
I'm sorry, with what kind of crimes?
Myriad crimes, a great number of crimes.
Myriad crimes.
I don't mean to use too big of words. I don't want to confuse the audience.
Okay.
They get somebody, they arrest them for a lot of crimes that they allege he committed. Now, the guy doesn't want to go to jail. So what does he do? He trades in 30 or 40 other people for himself so he don't go to jail. The government knows crime by its nature is a secret thing. How could one or two people know about 300-400 people? But they use them to testify, all right, and destroy 30, 40, 50 people's lives so they can get out of prison. These guys aren't informants or stool pigeons. They're liars. They make up stories and they destroy other people and their families in exchange for getting out of jail themselves. That's what Nicky Barnes did to my son.
So your son was accused of being a drug...
My son was accused of being involved in a drug conspiracy. Total lie. The kid is 100% innocent. The only reason they did it is because of me being in jail. Obvious to put some kind of pressure on me, and I don't make up stories about nobody. I don't play that game.
Nicky Barnes, as I recall, was a big-time heroin salesman, wasn't he?
Nicky Barnes is a girl. And I hope we have this on TV.
I'm sorry.
Nicky Barnes is a girl. That's what he is. I don't know what he was or what he wasn't. I don't know the man.
Who is this guy? I remember seeing this years and years ago. I think it was an HBO documentary. I could be wrong though.
That's yours.
Now, that's what happens when somebody makes you their in prison. Congratulations, now you gotta wash all of his dirty underwear. And depending on how the dude swings, you might end up being his girlfriend. Why is he doing this to him? Because he caught him stealing. A jailhouse thief is just as bad as somebody that's a rat. I assume this kid has nobody on the street and nobody that looks after him. He don't have no commissary, and these people went to the yard one day, or that dude went to the shower and this dude snuck wherever he lived and stole some of his commissary. Now, I've seen this happen in prison a lot, but I've never seen him be like, yo, you my girlfriend now. Usually if somebody is a thief, the whole section will end up jumping them. And the cops, they don't care. They don't like people that steal either. Matter of fact, I knew a dude in prison that actually lost his life because he stole something. And that's fact.
Is this low security prison? Just asking because of the semi-private beds. Oh, don't go to prison, kids.
I made $120,000 last week with this stupid easy side hustle. So the first thing that I did is I went onto Google and I looked up the nicest restaurants in my area. Then around dinner time, I went to the first one. Since these are super nice restaurants, they're probably packed. So then when I entered the restaurant, I went up to the host stand and I just started acting super rude. The host will say something like, "Hi, welcome to," and then before they can even finish their sentence, I'm gonna be like,
just give me a table for 6.
they're gonna say that there's probably a 30 to 45 minute wait, and then I'm gonna be like, "I see a table right over there, why can't you just seat me now?" They're not gonna let me get seated. I'll have to wait 30 to 45 minutes, and the whole time I'll just be standing by the host desk with my arms crossed, staring at them with an upset face. Finally, when the time comes to get seated, they'll seat me at the table for 6, and I'll tell them that actually nobody else is gonna be joining me. The host is gonna get pretty upset, but they'll send over the waiter to deal with me. When the waiter gets there, I'm gonna cut her off. I'm not gonna let her explain the menu, and I'm just gonna order a glass of water and the cheapest appetizer. The waiter and the host are gonna be so upset with how they're being treated that they're gonna go into the kitchen and complain to the chefs. And after another 15 minutes of waiting, I'll finally get my appetizer. And it is at this point where I reach into my pocket and pull out a DNA sampling kit. I'll test the food for any traces of human DNA. Obviously, the chef or the waiter will spit into my food, and right when I find a trace of human DNA, I'm going to call up my lawyer and have him come to that restaurant immediately. Then we are going to sue for $120,000 for improper food handling and emotional damages. I just repeat this every single week, and I live like a king.
Who do this? And what can possibly go wrong? Everything. And if you repeat it, the court will piece things together and you can get in trouble.
Can I buy all your shirts? I'm in the YSL store and they're selling actual vintage tees for good prices, right? $9.90. Nosferatu. We got some mosquito head Elvis. I've had this Nosferatu on a fashion victim before. Mosquito head Elvis. Hanes. Never seen an official mosquito head copyright before. Circle jerks, wild oats, no dry rot. I read about the vintage teas added to your store, right?
Yes. It's in collaboration with Candy Cole together. And so they're all curated by Candy Cole in accordance with Anthony Vaccarello. Everything that you see are one-of-one first edition vintage teas.
Do all the main SL branches have these vintage teas?
No, they don't. It's only for Rive Trois. It's exclusively for Rive Trois.
Okay, so this store?
Exactly. So there is also the Rive Trois in Paris.
Can I buy all your shirts?
Yeah, of course, if you'd like to.
You know, I was expecting $20 shirts.
So this was a woman that said something had took her dogs or took her animals, and she put a trail cam in the backyard and got this image. Oh boy.
Trail cam takes more than one picture. Where the rest?
Alright everybody, I'm back. I'm not banned anymore, and I've got an amazing story to tell you about the first ever ice wall explorer in the late 1700s, Mr. William Morris. Now this entire story comes from written accounts that have been hidden for hundreds of years up until recently, when the author Nos Confunden wrote about his story after coming across these documents that basically just told what he had found beyond the ice wall and what he had to go through to come back and tell the story to the whole world without triggering another great reset. Now this story begins when William Morris's crew sailed all the way to Antarctica looking for the rumored Summer's Gate, which is supposedly an opening in the ice wall that only appears when it gets hot enough for the ice to melt and a boat to go through. Once they got over there, they actually did find a crack in the ice wall, big enough for a boat to sail through, but they were too scared to go in. But it didn't even matter at that point because they were already too close and it sucked them through. Once they emerged the other side, they came across a vast new ocean as well as a red boat. That's all they described it as, just that it was red and that they had never seen anything like it before. The boat then blew a siren that was so loud and was hurting everyone on the crew, but I guess once they found out that William Morris and his crew were not a threat, that they let them onto their boat and they spoke to them and basically told them that William Morris and his crew escaped enslavement from the actual bad people in the world, and that these lands that were outside of the ice wall are actually the peaceful place, and that where we live is the place that there are evil leaders running everything. The captain in the red boat said that he was from the Ancestral Republic and that they had been trying to liberate the people from the Middle Earth area in the inner ice wall continents for hundreds of years, but they have not been able to because they keep causing great resets where the entire population is basically wiped out and the rest of the people are made in baby making factories and they're grown in a lab and stuff, like the Cabbage Patch Kids stuff. So after William Morris found out that he basically made it out of enslavement by living beyond the ice wall, he stayed there for 10 years, but he just eventually went crazy with all this amazing stuff that he was discovering, all these new technologies and how good life could be for most people, that he actually went back to Earth, the middle region, and was telling people about everything that he had seen, but he had to keep it as secretive as possible so that he doesn't cause another great reset and for all of humanity to be wiped out. But yeah, that's the entire story about this guy. What do you guys think? Is it possible that this might actually be a true story? Could it be so crazy that this all actually exists and that there are secret continents in hidden areas everywhere else? Also, if you want to help me out to go raise money to explore Antarctica, go to my link in bio and buy a shirt. Every shirt that I sell, I make $10 off.
I wish this was true, but how would we ever know?
Occupations attract the most psychopaths. There's one that's way higher, infinity higher than...
Isn't it dentist?
Entrepreneurs, like 5% of psychopaths. Out of 100 entrepreneurs, like 5, which is pretty high. It's like 5 times normal. Dentists are up there. People who cut things is one answer. So surgeons, chefs, dentists, there's this score called the Levinson psychopathy test. But what's way higher than that, the Levinson psychopathy? Not 5, like 80% of them are psychopaths. They're high. There's one even higher. I just watched a movie on Netflix, Black Hawk Down.
Just military in general?
Who in the military? What would be the most aggressive people in the military?
General?
No, it's a squad. What kind of squad
Navy
it is?
SEALs?
Navy SEAls, Army Rangers.
Like
I think the Navy SEALs is a great way to utilize psychopaths. What do you think?
I think the world works. Okay, so I'm just gonna say it. I kind of have this. I'm convinced that we as humans are all being pumped the same information from an outside source. It sounds kind of ridiculous, but these things of like, as humans, we've always kind of ideas always come at the same time for many people. And they'll be so specific to the day. And I think that sometimes when we dream and when we sleep, that's where the information gets downloaded and re-uploaded. And I have a lot of questions as to what happens when we actually sleep, like where we actually go, like what. Recently I was like, why do we need to sleep? Like, why is it that I can eat as much food in the day, conserve as much energy, but after I would just crash? Like, there's no amount of energy that I can just to keep going.
Yeah, it's not proven, is it, by science exactly where we sleep? Right?
Why can't I just stay awake forever, based off supplying my body with energy? Like I have to. Anyway, So there was this thing of like, yeah, me thinking like, why throughout history we'll always see these things happen where multiple people across the planet through no communication whatsoever have the exact same ideas.
Yeah.
And then I was reading about Dennis the Menace and how that was a British cartoon and an American cartoon.
Yeah.
About a young boy and his dog called Dennis the Menace. Came out in the early 1950s, and it came out on the same day. And they had no idea. It was just a complete coincidence.
Welcome, Kenny.
Wait a second.
Straight to the point. I need you to read this instructions very carefully before you sell your kidney, okay? It's very important.
You're selling your kidney.
Any question?
Just to confirm, sir, one kidney is $73,000.
That is very correct, yes. But please read. Okay. Read everything.
No, it's fine.
Are you sure? Okay, if you go to room 73, my colleague will take out your kidney, okay?
No, that's fine. I'm coming.
Good luck. Welcome. How are you feeling?
I'm okay, sir. I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay. You want to take some
Can I
rest?
just have the money, sir, so I can start going on?
Oh, okay. Cash or check?
Cash, please. So that's why I brought my bag. Just be passing it to me, so I'll be putting it in my bag, please. I don't want any tax problem.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Where's the dustbin? What's this?
Why do you want to throw the money away?
So I made a mistake. I gave you one kidney for $73,000.
Yeah,
I remember. Look at it.
Zimbabwe
$73,000.
dollars. It's Zimbabwe dollars. It's written there.
73,000 Zimbabwe dollars.
Yeah.
How much is that in pounds?
That's £3.71.
So this is £3.73.
Yeah.
This is £3.73.
That's your fault.
Sir, for my
Kenny.
kidney. Why did you tell me Zimbabwe dollars? Why did you tell me Zimbabwe dollars?
I told you, it's an instruction.
You should have made me read this. You should have told me to read this.
Come on.
Sir, my kidney, please. My kidney.
Now, your kidney's
too
gone.
late.
Used, gone.
Kenny.
Sharpie, my kidney, please.
Please, I need you to leave now. I need to see the next station.
Kenny is so funny. All right, folks. Thank you for staying till the end. Be kind to each other. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And don't forget to like or dislike so I can make a better content. There's a free gift below. And if you want to buy me coffee or support me through Patreon, the links are in the description below. Have a prosperous day and God bless.